Okay, you should be joining me on page 9 of your worksheet packet. Don't be afraid to pause this whenever you need to and stay caught up. I'm going to talk pretty fast, okay? Y is less than or equal to 3. Remember, if I was asking you in class to hold your arm up and say, what does the line y equals 3 look like? You should put your arm up, and it should be a horizontal line through 3, and it should be a solid line because it's less than or equal to. So I'm going to go up here to 3, draw a dot, and draw a solid line through 3, okay? Those are very easy to shade. You should have noticed in the words in the Canvas page that I wanted you to make sure and shade after you draw each line. So I made the line, and now I'm going to shade. Which way is less than? Since it's in slope-intercept form, that's nice and easy. Less than is down. Okay, like that. Next, I want to graph the second one. X is greater than 1. If I ask you to hold your arm up again, you should be holding it straight up and down because x equals, it goes through the x-axis at 1 right there. Okay, so I'm going to graph x equals 1 and shaded greater than. Which way is greater than? Compared to 1, I want to be on 2, 3, 4. I'd be to the right. So I'm going to shade to the right. So if I'm shading to the right, the double shaded region would only be down here. I don't want this up here. That's single shaded. So this would get double shaded. So I'm going to grab my mark or my pen again and darken it in. Make sure it's good and dark, and I can tell which side got double shaded. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Graph each line and figure out where the double shaded region is. Okay, number 10, here's a standard form one. And number 11, that's a slope-intercept form. That's an mx plus b. So I'm going to graph them differently, and I'm going to shade them differently. First of all, the standard form. If I was covering up the y, x-intercept would be -1/2. So -1/2 for my x. Y-intercept, I'm going to cover up the x. Y-intercept should be +2 because we got negative divided by negative. Okay, so +2. And would it be a solid or dotted? The answer is a dotted line, so I better change that. And graph it. Just like, oh, that was not a very good graph. Better fix that. Make sure you hit the dots. My straight edge didn't line up real well. There we go. Now I got it lined up. Okay, now I got to shade it. Since it's in standard form, you can't do the shortcut. You're going to have to do the long way by plugging in an x and a y. Okay, now which is 0, 0 is the easiest one to pick. So I plug in 0 and 0, which makes 0. So 0 is less than -2. Is that true or is that false? And the answer is false. You're right, that's false, so I don't want to shade that. I want to shade the other side. Just because 0 is not less than 2. -2. Alright, so I'm shaded to the left so far. And by the way, you obviously want to ignore all of this stuff over here when you're graphing this line. Okay? So I'm shaded to the left so far. I'm going to graph my second line now. You ready? That's in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to have to do starting point, rise, and run. So my starting point's at 1. Right there. And it goes down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. It's going to be solid or dotted. And if you look at the line there, it's not underlined, so it's dotted line. And it should go right through there like that. Okay, so my double shaded region is going to be up above or down below here. So it's one of these two areas. Since it's slope-intercept, that's easy. I can just look at it and say, oh, it's less than. So less than is down below. So that'd be down below this line, so I'm going to shade down here. Only because this will be the double shaded region. So do I have to shade it down here and say, oh, this is single shaded? No, we don't care about that. In the end, I'm only looking for what got double shaded. In this case, it's right over here to the left. Okay? And I want to do one harder one. Okay, so I'm going to do a problem like this. This has got 3 sides to it. Okay? Actually, you know what? I'm going to save that for the next video. So feel free to check out the next video if you want to see one with 3 parts to it.